That's not what the men in your harem say. I threw an apple at her, but her vampire reflexes were too quick. She snatched it from midair before it got anywhere near her face. No matter how hard I tried, I never made contact. Even sneak attacks remained unsuccessful. Granted, I wasn't trying that hard, but one day I hoped to get her guard down just long enough to peg her in the face with fruit. I hadn't doused her with a potion yet, but old Clara was cruising for a bruising if she didn't shut up about the revolving door of men in my life. Not that anything was happening with that door. It was like a door in a haunted house. Scarred, paint chipping off, and halfway off the hinges. A fine metaphor to my odd, mostly unsuccessful dating life. I had a lot of starts and stops, though they'd all ended up coming to a screeching halt. Except for Easton. Not yet, anyway. He was stalking me. Romantic in a novel, a little unnerving in real life. Could I blame him, though? Predators stalked. Asking them not to was like trying to teach a person mixology while speaking Swahili. Clara thought it all terribly romantic. The vampire, like most of my new paranorm friends, was adorably psychotic. Dave hadn't been around for a few days, and it was making Clara a little salty. Add pregnancy hormones on top, and my home life was a real bundle of laughs these days. She had weird-ass cravings. Some of the drinks she'd asked me to mix up lately were gag-inducing. But since I was her bestie, I mixed the pickle juice, olives, and cranberry juices, and mixed the Cosmo with tequilas and rums without complaint. Don't even get me started on the charcuterie boards. I was going to have to start charging her for them if she didn't tone it down soon. All of that was tolerable because I loved her. With Dave's attention torn between her and his kingdom, she was lonely. But ever since she found out she was pregnant, Clara had stuck to me like a leech. She rarely left the apartment, which left me with a permanent, Clara-shaped dent on her favorite side of the couch. My grocery bill tripled, and she hogged the remote control so much I hadn't watched a single episode of my show in weeks. She'd found a channel where every single show followed the same format, and yet we remained glued to the television, wondering if that big city girl was going to figure out that small-town pine tree salesman was in love with her. I had to tear myself away from the television, and at night, my dreams were plagued with images of Easton showing up at my door with an axe slung over his shoulder begging me to walk away from my corporate law job. It had gotten to the point where I wanted to smash my television to bits, while simultaneously transporting myself into a town called Misty Hollow or Sandy Cove and finding a small-town lover. Clara wasn't the only thing different. Lucifer was gone, taken by Michael and his cronies, and it cast a sad pall over Swans. What I hadn't told anyone yet is that he came to visit me in his dreams. On the surface, he seemed fine, but every once in a while he couldn't maintain the illusion he presented to me, and I glimpsed a world of horror and pain. He told me every day not to try to find him, that he was in a place unfamiliar to even him, and that my time would be better spent on finding a way to defeat Michael and the other angels banding together with him.